Hello everybody, Brian Hussar here. I haven't done a Blu Ray pick of the week in a long time and figured I'd do one now. And the one I have chosen may shock you, but I watched it for the first time in a couple years actually, and it's My Heart Will Go On, James Cameron's 1997 Oscar-winning epic Titanic. Now, everybody knows about Titanic. Everybody has seen Titanic. So you know the plot, you know the story, you've seen it, highest grossing film of all time. So what I want to talk about is how the film plays nowadays and everything that was leading up to the release in '97. This film was not supposed to be a hit. This was not supposed to be a hit. This was on the Hollywood trade papers. In Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Premiere, so much controversy over the cost overruns, budget overruns, the way he's treating the actors. This was going to be the end of James Cameron's career. Definitely the end of his career. One of the things that amazes me about James Cameron that I will say, and he's a favorite filmmaker of mine, sometimes I don't like the way he treats his actors. The guy's very impatient. The guy asks the impossible. But man, he's got a big vision. And he started out in low-budget film. His first film as a director was Roger Corman's Piranha 2. And his second film, the first, The Terminator, that was low budget. It was with Aliens that he started getting into big budget, huge budget films, and his vision became very big. With The Abyss after that, and then Terminator 2, True Lies, which I always thought was just a fun film, not to be taken serious, and Titanic, and Avatar. Every time out, the guy defies the odds. Every time out, he proves that he knew better than the studios or the tradespeople. But there's an article that I have linked here in the description, because last year was the 20th anniversary of this deal, about how the odds were against him, about how they were being made fun of, they were just so much bad press was happening with this film that even when they showed 4 minutes of footage at the Show West convention in '97, people were like, their mouths dropped, they're like, this is incredible, and then 2 days later they were back to bad-mouthing the film. And Cameron did have a reputation with the way he was treating some of the actors on set, especially Kate Winslet, supposedly anyways, because Kate never confirmed nor denied the reports. And the fact that he built the starboard side of the Titanic ship, and then they talked about the promotion of the film. At first, Paramount, as usual, didn't know how to promote it, but then James Cameron decided to let them promote the love story aspect. And then December of '97, who would have thought? This film went through the roof, as you know. It went through the roof. It was the #1 film till April of '98. The longest running #1 film. At 3 hours and 15 minutes, people were captivated by this film. And then, of course, the backlash happened, even by people who loved the film. I know. I was one of them that decided to talk crap about the film, even though I saw it twice. Even though I pre-ordered the letterboxed VHS edition of it. I talk crap about it. But why does this film work? And having watched it again recently, it works. It really works. I could see why DiCaprio tried to distance himself from it for a while, because he never wanted to be a pinup. The people who said this film wasn't commercial were now blasting the film when it came out. It was a typical Hollywood garbage and whatnot. And as with everything, this was not supposed to be a Hollywood film, but when the critics praised it, and the critics definitely praised it, and it was on 10 best lists, you know, watching the film again outside of the big hype that happened at the time, it really works. It still holds up. The love story still holds up. The suspense still holds up. The destruction of Titanic while telling the personal stories. He had so much to juggle This film was so expensive because it was filmmaking on a scale that we don't see anymore. We really don't. This is filmmaking on the scale of David Lean, where he built the ship. He wanted to do much of it for real as well as CGI. The love story still works, but the film works because of the small touches that James Cameron puts in. The string quartet is playing on the ship, and they know it's about to sink. It's sinking, and there's no hope. It's the mother and her two kids, who we've seen throughout the film. She's telling them a bedtime story to make sure they're asleep when their cabin floods and they have no way out. Oh, it's those moments that nobody ever expected from a James Cameron film that causes this film to work. A couple things I don't agree with. I don't agree that James Cameron decided to convert this to 3D. You know, it's perfect the way it is. But I remember when I saw it twice. Saw it at McClure Court Cinemas in Chicago, which was a Cineplex Odeon theater, but their main theater was equipped to show films in 70mm. Chicago didn't get one of the 20 70mm prints Cameron paid for out of his own pocket. If you were in LA, New York, I'm sure you were lucky to see it in 70mm. But it was shown in a Lucasfilm THX theater. Which is what the main theater at McClure Court was. And it was just amazing seeing this on the big screen. This is the way you need to see this film. The second time I saw it was at a theater in a neighborhood that was not too far away from my house, one that I always went to. The worst experience of seeing the film because the guy behind me decided to impress his girlfriend with his knowledge of film technique while the film was going on. When I'm watching a movie in the movie theater, I don't need the guy behind me telling his girlfriend, "You see that right there? They did that with computer effects." Shut up. Let me watch the film. I know how it's done, but while I'm watching the film, I want to believe that that's actually the Titanic in front of me. So my Blu-ray pick of the week is Titanic. Everybody has seen it. See it again if you haven't seen it in a long time. It still works and it still holds up. And if you were somebody like me who loved the film but thought it would be cool to badmouth it, you know, see it outside the hype. It works. Cameron knows what he's doing. James Cameron is a frustrated genius. I don't agree with him making Avatar 2, 3, and 4, especially since The Abyss and True Lies are still not on Blu-ray yet, and he did new 4K transfers for them. That's a different story. But there you go. Blu-ray pick of the week, Titanic. And until we meet again.